So today I'm going to take you back, and bring you through the journey, to my journey of entrepreneurship. How I moved from being an employee to an entrepreneur, an employer. All right, so it all started in tertiary, second semester, second year. One day I was after a very intense accounting lecture. That lecture I even endured through it. So coming out of the lecture hall, I was feeling so depressed. I was feeling overwhelmed and stressed. So I came home to my hostel that afternoon. Just came to relax in my bed to think about my life, and what accounting was doing to me. So I came to my hostel, laid in my bed for about 30 minutes. I saw my roommates. My roommates came in with another friend who was who was in the third year. My roommate was a graphics designer, Nanakisi. I'm not sure he will even know about this, but he plays a role in this. So this guy comes. I think he came with Nanakisi to the room because he wanted some assistance with his project work. He was in third year, we were in second year. My roommate was one of the best graphic design students on campus. So this guy comes with him to the room. They started talking, they started gisting. They spoke virtually about everything. But the main reason why they came there, they didn't even talk about it. So they spoke at length, they jested, while I was in my bed minding my own business. I think they started speaking about how to make money. They kept chatting, and all of a sudden this guy pulls a pen drive from his pocket. And he goes like, yo, if you listen to this and it doesn't transform your life, then Charlie, your family inside hard, And immediately I'm like, hey, Charlie, what is this that if you listen to your life will change? I was so interested. I was eager to know. But I kept my cool. I laid in my bed, But I so wanted to know that. So he copied it for him on his laptop. Immediately the guy left. I went to my roommate and I'm like, yo, Nana, Charlie, I heard what you guys were talking about and I want in on it. I want to know what exactly it is. I also want to listen to it. Okay, and he's like, oh, Charlie, why not? So I gave him my drive. He gave me the info, the audiobook. I also copied it onto my laptop. But I didn't listen to it that day. I went back to relaxing, I think I fell asleep or so. I didn't listen to it that day. About a week later, one night I couldn't sleep. Everyone was asleep. The whole place was quiet. The whole hostel was quiet. My roommates were sleeping. Light was off. I was laying in my bed and I'm like, okay, so let me just check this out. What actually this guy was talking about. So I pulled my laptop out, plugged my earpiece, and I started listening. I listened for a while and Charlie, it sounded interesting. I liked what I was hearing. And this audiobook actually changed my life. It changed my perspective to life. It changed how I saw savings. It changed my thought pattern altogether. And immediately I knew that was the path I wanted to go. Okay, it was about one guy who had two parents, one rich and one poor. Who was taking lessons from both parents, both the rich dad, both the rich father and the poor father. And I was glad I was in the hostel that day. I was so happy I got that information. I was even happy that accounting lecture didn't go well. Because probably I would have been somewhere. I wouldn't be in my hostel. I would be somewhere. But that day, things changed. My perspective to life changed. And this audiobook, I kept listening to it throughout the night. By the time I realized they had broken, it was morning. I remember vividly, I was so happy. I was so happy. And this audiobook was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Guys, if you've not listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I will entreat you to do it. Look for it and listen to it. Okay? If you don't have it, just let me know. DM me or comment down below that I need it, and I will send it to you. You need to listen to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because it's part of the reasons why I'm here today. It's part of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Seriously, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It has helped me a lot. It has changed my life. Seriously. Whilst I was in school, after school, I had some students I was teaching. So I will come back to the hostel, prepare and go and teach. I had about 10 different students. After school, I'll teach. I'll come back late, study, sleep, or sometimes serious sleep without studying. And as I was growing up, I knew, I had to do something to help my parents, because growing up with no siblings, just my parents living in a compound house with about 8 or 9 other tenants with their families, and we were all sharing one toilet, one bathroom. And it wasn't a WC, okay? We're all sharing one toilet, one bathroom. So if we were going to go to work or go to town early, or in the morning, you had to wake up very early and go and queue, before you could take your bath and go to town. That was the kind of upbringing I had. The kind of life I had when I was growing with my parents. I didn't enjoy some of the fun things in life. No ice cream, no toys. If I would get a chance to eat sweets, it would be once in a while. And even that, it was because my mom used to sell sweets just about 100 kilometers from my school. It wasn't so far, like about 100 meters, from my school. And my mates who went to GHS or primary with me know this. My mom is very popular there, because she used to sell to the students, she used to sell to the people around. So that was how come I could even take sweets, toffees. And even that, it was once in a long time. Once in a while. It's either I buy it or she'll give me once in a while. So that was the kind of upbringing I had. So it was a big deal. I so wanted to be rich. I so wanted to do something for myself so that I could impact in their lives my parents, what they would never have been able to get in their lives. Not even in their wildest dreams. So I wanted to really be successful so that I could give them the life they couldn't give me. And also to give my children the life I couldn't get. I pray to God to give me a wife, the most beautiful woman in the world. And God answered my prayers. I'm married to the most beautiful and amazing woman in this world. I have a great family. So yeah. Fast forward years after school, still on a mission to make it, help my parents, and help other people who grew up in my situation, in situations similar to mine, to know that it is possible for everyone to make it. Everyone. So, still on a mission, get a job at the bank. I go through this rigorous interview process. The interview process started with about 50 50 people. We passed through the aptitude tests and the levels of interview, and I was fortunate to be one of the 4 people who were selected, to get employment at the bank. And that feeling was something else, getting a job at the bank. So I get a job as a teller and I start work. But things weren't going well. About 1 year into banking, I started feeling tired, because I was getting into so many troubles. I was getting into imbalances, corporate bullying with my superiors. Charlie, superiors will always make you are their subordinate, Charlie. So it was difficult, facing bullying from superiors and top management. They will send you letters, policies here and there, Charlie. Getting caution letters, warning letters, because I couldn't focus well. Before entering the bank, I had a plan to exit after 10 years, but I exited before 10 years, and this is why. The bullying was so much for me. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. Always I'll find myself in trouble. Appraiser will come and I'll be somewhere. Till I even got suspended. Same issue because of imbalance. I got suspended. I remember very well. It was in Christmas. It was getting to Christmas. I think it was in 2015. It was getting to Christmas, December. I was suspended. I came home, so depressed. And this experience was one of my rock bottom, lowest points in my life. I hadn't experienced anything like that, I get suspended. I come home and I call my mom, that early morning. Mostly we were speaking in the mornings before I go to work. So I call her, we were talking. And I tell her, Mom, I'm not going to work. She asked why. And I was explaining what I was going to. I explained what I was going through to her at work. And I tell her, so this is what has happened. I've been suspended. And I kept talking, and all of a sudden I started crying. I cried like a baby that day, that morning. I remember so well. So my mom was consoling me. She was like, don't cry, everything will be fine. Just be strong. And all of a sudden, I could hear her voice from the other side of the phone. She was also crying. She started crying. And I'm like, wow. My mom also started crying. I broke down. I cried that day. And I remember very well, this was the rock bottom moment of my life. I hadn't experienced anything like this. Wow, I get suspended. And I was the first person. Well, I don't know for now if some people have also experienced it, but I was the first person to go on suspension for imbalance. I hold a record there, at my former office, the bank where I was working. So things became difficult for me. I couldn't focus. I wasn't happy. But I kept studying. Some years ago I was introduced to entrepreneurship through which dad poured that. So I kept studying. I got exposed to a lot of entrepreneur material. I downloaded a lot of videos, a lot of audiobooks, that I was listening to every time. So, I decided, okay, fine, Charlie, this is not going well. I have to resign. So I started planning. I gave myself 10 years. But instead of 10 years, I told myself, I can't stay in this for 10 years. I have to resign. So instead of 10 years, guess what? I resigned after 4 years. 4 years of working at the bank. I resigned. I didn't just get up one day to resign. I worked my way, through it. I took a course in fashion. because I knew I wanted to become a fashion designer. I took a course in fashion design, a weekend course, 6 months weekend course. I studied fashion, so during weekends, on weekdays I'll go to work, weekends school, no leisure time. I wake up early in the morning and work on my fashion. If I had orders, I'll work on the styles, send it to my designer at Bubuashi. From Teshi, I'll send it to Bubuashi to design for me. It was very hectic, combining my 9 to 5 with my side hustle together with my fashion school. It was very, very hectic. But I told myself, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. So I planned. I saved enough. I remember the first machine I bought. My room was so small when I moved from Bubuashi to Teshi. My room was so small, I didn't have anywhere to keep it. So I had to take it to my tailor's place at Bubuashi. So he kept it for me. So I was moving from Bubuashi to Teshi to give him orders. And weekends I will go to school, and even sometimes before I go to school, I'll go to Accra to get fabrics. Because I have to work, for myself. I'll get the fabrics that I'll use for the designs. I started getting orders, and one thing I also did was Sundays I'll keep the things in my bag, and I will, in my car. In the boot. After work, after church, I'll quickly run out, come out, to the parking lot, open my car, the boot. I'll invite people to come and look. Not all bought, but I had some pretty good customers. And gradually, I bought my equipment. I bought the machine, one machine. I bought another. I got another. I got my studio, my photo studio, my showroom, and my machine room. That's the factory where we sew, and that's where we still sew till today. So I got all these things, and finally in 2016, I resigned. The journey wasn't rosy, but I had to go through it and endure, till I resigned. I remember November 2016, when I turned in my resignation letter. I came out of the cage to the world, to the real world of entrepreneurship. I felt some heavy load had been lifted off of me. I felt some freedom. I felt some joy. I told myself, I was like, finally, I can start to work for myself, make that money, and impact and show people, teach people that, it's not only about 9 to 5. Because, I don't blame any of us. That's what we know. That's what we've been taught through school. That you can only make it, when you finish school and get a job. When you get the job, you get a loan, you buy a car, you start living life. But no, that is not it. It's a lie. It's a lie, Charlie. Entrepreneurship, it's the thing. You have to try it. You have to get yourself a business. That is how I moved from working as a banker, to a fashion designer, working for myself. And I feel God has blessed me so much. I can impart the knowledge I have into other people. I'm bringing out content, really good content. I'm bringing out materials to help, change the mindset of young entrepreneurs. Young executives, young people who are coming out of school. That it is not about employment. Okay, we shouldn't make employment our last stop. We shouldn't work and retire in our office. We should make it a point to resign early. Even if we should get a job, if we decide not to get a job, we can still make it. I've gone through this. and it is real. We can make it without even 9 to 5. All right. So yeah, that is it. Those of you who have been asking why I quit my job at the bank to do this, this is the story behind me coming out of the bank. Okay, so guys, stay tuned to this channel. I mean, follow me on Facebook at Yawusu, Nana Yawusu, sorry. Same on Instagram and on YouTube. I bring out videos like this, trying to change the mindset of people, trying to reorient people coming out, people who are still working their 9 to 5 alone with no side business. I would urge you guys to think twice and consider getting your own business on the side, something that you resign and come to. All right, so yeah, guys, that is my story. I just thought I should share this with you guys. So I will come back again probably tomorrow. Then we'll take a different topic, look at it from a different angle. Today I have blisters on my lips, but hey, it didn't stop me. It did not stop me from doing this live video, because I know I have to come, and speak my heart out to you guys. As I always say, I'm on a mission to get people out of their comfort zone. All right. So if you still not joined my Facebook secret group, that's the New Money Family group, do that now, because I'm building a community of people, of like-minded people, who will go. I mean, we share ideas together and go together, make money together, make that new money together. So guys, thank you for coming on my life. Thank you for today. So till I come your way again, I say peace out.